Okay, so our last speaker is an Argentinian tech lead and a senior iOS engineer at Solar Technologies. With a career in iOS development that began with the advent of Swift, he's now transitioning towards team leadership and management roles. Let's welcome the speaker with the coolest sneaker collection, Nahuel Zapata. Suerte.
Yes, yes. Um, hey guys, good afternoon everyone. First of all, I have to say thanks, Lara, for the nice words. I really appreciate it. How are you guys doing? Did you enjoy the conference already? Okay, so I see that you have still energy, so that's helpful for me. Okay, so first of all, a little bit of myself. As Lara just said, I'm a tech lead and iOS engineer for the last 9 years of my life. I like to say that I have the same longevity as an iOS engineer that when Swift came up. And as you can imagine, I have worked in many industries and many apps. I have worked with health apps, gaming, radio streaming, fintech. And I also work in both sides of the same coin, which I consider is that are product companies and software factories. And first of all, the first disclaimer of the talk, for those who work in software factory, I don't know if this is the case anymore, but there will be some times that you don't have enough, you won't have enough time to review others' code. I know that we all want to have to implement the best practices that we know and any new technology. And I know this can be frustrating. It happened to me in my past. But one thing that I learned is to keep my mind open for things. And I always like to extrapolate what we do to a more mundane example. Let me just think that, let's just think together that we are aiming to build a house. What we want first is to have that house with a roof, a bedroom, a restroom, a kitchen. And we don't want to have our house to be able to be a building, at least from scratch. Then later we can iterate through it. And I think that this is a place where you should adapt yourself to and be open. So this is one of my quotes. So just forget about the building. Let's the productive things first. It depends, of course, on what you work. But if you work on software factory, chasing to an MVP or whatever, this is going to be the case. And with that being said, let's first talk about the importance of the pull requests and repositories itself. For me, what the first thing that comes to my mind when I think in a pull request, it's knowledge, shared knowledge. I see a repository as a point where we all together contribute towards a goal, towards a product, towards something that the user can use. And of course, we have a lot of people contributing to. So it's like a story for me. By just seeing the repository, I don't know, it can tell me how it began if you search enough and navigate enough throughout the years of the project to see who created it. Then it can tell me how it changed throughout the years. If your project is mature enough, probably you just passed an Objective-C migration to Swift, or either, I don't know, in 2018, 2019, when architectures were a hot topic, if the architecture changed or whatever. And you can see how things are going on right now. Like, I don't know, if you have a team dedicated to migrate your UIKit implementation to Swift UI, or either, I don't know, if the project is considering developer experience, and a lot of things that you can do. And I think that you can take it as an entry point. Whenever you join a new company, the common thing to do is someone just will share with you the URL of the repository. You will clone it. You will run through the README, if you happen to have one, and if it happens to work. There are a lot of times that that doesn't work. And then you can just go build the app, look for files that we used to use. It depends on the architecture, of course, but you will try to look for views, view models, coordinators, services, and all those things that we put focus on. But I consider this like as it says in the title, as an entry point, because you can analyze a lot of things. You can analyze the culture of your team. By just going to the repository pull request page, you can see how your team aligns to create PRs. I don't know if you have, if you use naming conventions for the titles, if you put, I don't know, bug fix or enhancement in a bracket, or if you use the ticket ID, if you use, I don't know, Jira or whatever tool you want. You can see how much time a PR stays open before it gets merged. And then if you jump into a particular PR, you can see if your team is using some sort of template, if they put enough information or not regarding, I don't know, steps to reproduce, or the steps to reproduce, or I don't know, information, screenshots, the summary. I was talking with Lucas yesterday about the commit history that you put. And that, I consider this like as a different approach to the normal one, which, as I mentioned, it would be just clone the repo and build the app. So the PRs are ready. And then, so first of all, when I started thinking about this talk, I thought it as code, and I would have some preconditions before I consider my PRs are ready. First of all, or the first precondition would be try to automate as much as possible. I would leverage tools like SwiftLint, Swift format, where you can have like some sort of style guide. If you happen to have one declared, it would be really, really good. So you can align your tools to that style guide, and then you save a lot of time trying to look for errors that are repeatedly introduced. I would also enforce unit testing and empower them. I consider, or I would try to recommend, or I try to avoid reviewing PRs that I know that don't have unit testing, because I consider it's something really important to test our business logic, at least the business logic. You don't have to test the views, but that depends, again, on your definitions as a team. Use PR templates. As I just mentioned, this is a powerful tool for Git. You can have Markdown. You can leverage Markdown, create tables where you can show. I love when someone fixes a visual bug and puts the old versus new, and you can see that the bug was fixed, right? Okay, so I have completed my preconditions. Now it's time to review. But I also have more preconditions to review. So me as a reviewer, first rule that I have is keep my ego aside. I consider that ego is something that's not good when you are working on a collaborative space. I don't feel like it's a war or it's a competition against you and me or whatever team members they are. So please consider this as a very important rule. I also quote a friend of mine, Julio, that talks about in this tweet about the usage of the you against we. I really and totally agree on using we. I don't like to use you when reviewing a PR because I think that I'm pointing to someone and saying, okay, you introduced this, or I'm accusing to someone. And no one's guilty. We could make mistakes. Be empathic. Empathy is the ability to understand how the other people feel. Try to be empathic when you review others' PR. try to be compassionate. We don't want people to suffer because of our comments. We don't want people to have burnouts. Be kind and be respectful. Now that I see Josh, I saw yesterday on your talk you had this, and I also had it from before, but it was useful. And, oh, sorry. There we go. These 4Bs, I consider it very, very important because it helps to provide a safe work environment where respect is the number one rule, the empathy, the compassion, and it's really important because it provides confidence to the people. They don't get burned out, they don't feel excluded, and they feel ownership of the code, and that's better. Another thing that I highly recommend, and it happened to me in the past, where I feel the lack of confidence on myself, on the knowledge. It happened to me in the first years of my career, which I felt that I was not prepared enough. I felt that I was not adding any extra value to the team. On my first job, I used to have a mentor that he was the architect of the project, so he helped me to learn unit testing and a lot of things. And I felt like when he created a PR, I just was approving it without anything to improve. And I don't know, it's like I was ignoring the most important fact of reviewing PRs, which is that which is interaction. Like you create a back and forth with your teammates. And just remember, we are all human. We all make mistakes. There is no such thing of perfection. Even in software engineering, I don't consider this. And just raise yourself up and try to get to a point where you know that you are adding value by contributing. So let's jump into an example of some comments that we could improve to be compliant with the 4Bs that I just shared. It is funny because by being the last talk of this conference, I can use a lot of things that the folks told. So Marcelo just talked about unit tests, and we all know that we won't be using singletons. But if I happen to review a PR that is using a singleton, I should not approach this way. I should not say you should not use singletons because that's an opinion, and I'm using my opinion as a fact, and I shouldn't. But if it happens to be a fact, you just have to provide the documentation. So let's try to transmutate the first comment into a more polite comment. So instead of saying you should not be using singletons, can we go through something like this? Like, can we try using dependency injection instead because it's aligned with our style guide, and we get X, Y, Z benefits from it? Like Marcelo just said, testability, you don't get side effects, and a lot of things. But don't assume things. Another tip that I would have is to avoid using words like right or wrong or best or worst. That could, as it's like, I'm being redundant with be empathic and compassionate, but just these words can ruin a developer's day. It happened to me. I won't use comments like my proposal is better, is the best because of, or this is wrong because of. I would like it to transmutate it in a way that is friendly for both the author and the reviewer, and also whoever is reading the PR. We don't want to be rude to the other one. So this is an alternative that you could have. So did you consider implemented it in this way, or based on our style guide or business requirements, this caused some issues, and then you explain it. But don't get to the point where you have to say that something is right or wrong, or this is the worst code I've ever seen, or this is the best code I've ever seen. Could could not hurt the author, but could hurt another ones that implemented that could implement it in another way. Elevate communication. I know that we are all introvert people. we are software engineers, but when you feel like a discussion is going farther, too much back and forth, just say, let's jump into a call. Probably people can be misinterpreted from a message. And by using just a 5 minutes call, you could save a lot of time, a lot of back and forth. You could, again, you don't have to be rude to anyone. Or either not just the Slack, not just the call, you could, if you're using a Slack, you can post it in a Slack channel and involve more people so you don't have to fight with the other one to see whoever gets the final word. Acknowledge each other's efforts. This is something that I really like to do when I review a PR, and when I see something that I would implement it in another way, or something that I learn, or something that it's just fixing an issue. I'd like to say, this is a great approach. This is awesome. Thank you for solving this. When a team is introducing a whole feature that I know that they spent more than 2 months of work, and they are finally merging their feature branch, all the modules and all that stuff. I just like to say, hey guys, great work. Let's continue this way. And a fun fact, a lot of people from here work with me, and I always, any single time that I prove a PR, I put the avocado emoji because I associate it with a green, which is the approval. And I approve it, I put just looks good to me. And a lot and this, like, I think that tends to get people more confident. And when they are more confident, that they tend to perform better at work. And just a few more things that I haven't made it to pack it into this talk. I would like to say that it's good to review your own PRs whenever you submit it. Just make a quick pass and try to have your PR as you would like to review one. I would also, this is from Mauri, they talk about habits. I try to get a habit where whenever I start my Mac at the beginning of my day, I warm up mentally by reviewing others' PR. So I get used to, I read some code, then I know that I'm ready to do my work. And one thing that it will probably trigger a question, don't be afraid of the change request. Sometimes we have to stop other developers to merge their code. And that's totally fine as long as you are kind and respectful to the other one. So, as a summary, let's try to keep aside our ego. Let's be humble. Let's keep aside exclusion and competition in order to have inclusion and cooperation with our teammates. And forget about all those thoughts that are, I know everything, I'm just the source of truth. Just instead of that, just try to become a mentor. And just as a small conclusion, I think that the purpose of this talk was try to plant the seed of being compassionate, being kind to your developer, to your teammates. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But before we go, I have special thanks. First of all, I have to say, Facu, I know you're here. The moment I told you I want to give a talk, you said yes, absolutely, without anything. I just knew that I was going to be talking today. Facu, Jose, Cynthia, Sophie, I don't know. You are, to be completely honest, you are one of the most professional teams that I had the chance to work with. The positivity and the energy that you have, I think it's something really, really special. I know that you guys been working on for these 2 days, for the past 10 to 11 months, and I cannot imagine how much pressure, how much time this consume. But I have to say that this is such an incredible event, phenomenal organization. Day in, day out, the whole week is it's like a point on my calendar that I have to, that I know that I have to, it's Swiftable. And I think it's important to know this because in today's world, it's important to note when somebody has the real good values and you, your team, you four, everyone around here, the guys from camera, logistics, you guys are like doing a really great job. And I think that you deserve a great respect and great applause for that. So I know, guys, we are almost past of time, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity to acknowledge the emotional support and the sacrifices that our dear ones make for us. I feel that I have a lot of people that believed in me blindly. Whenever I told them that I was speaking on a conference, every single week they talk me and ask me how's the talk status and all that stuff. And I see this as a dream that come true. This is one of the greatest achievements of my career. I tried the first year, last year I was the MC, but this success is yours as much as it's mine. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And before I get really emotional, there is one more message that I would like to share. I started programming in 2008 at school, and I never thought that I would reach this point. This talk it matters a lot to me. In terms of, I would like to quote a phrase that it's dream big, dare to dream, because everything is possible. Don't let anybody to take away the dream from you. Nurture it, water it like you water the flowers, even if you just find one person that will accept, embrace, and support your dreams. Just find that person and dream big, because you can make it. Thank you. Do we have any questions? Okay. Yes, I think your mic's not working.
Is it working? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so I got a few questions. The first one
go.
says, do you think it is a good idea to let ChatGPT to reformulate the comments on the PRs, I think?
I haven't think so. I don't have a strong opinion on that. But I don't think a robot is going to have empathy or kindness, as I mentioned.
All right, the next one says, which tools do you use on your CI pipeline for PRs? Lane coverage, merge queue, lines of code?
So we try to use Swift format. We use pre-commit hooks, so we know that whenever someone is committing, we make sure that they run these tools so they don't get pushed. But I think that depends on the company. They might use like an in-house solution, or I don't know, get Bitrise or other company that provides CI/CD.
Okay. This says, what's your advice for PRs that receive a ton of comments?
I think it's a good opportunity to learn. Every single comment is like as I said, share knowledge. It's not bad to have too much comments. I know that so if I have a PR that has like 100 comments, the next time I will be better prepared and I will probably get less comments. And one day you'll have a big PR probably will have comments, but there will be a time that you won't get any comment and you will just get the avocado emoji and the approval.
Okay, next one says, how do you handle frictions when the reviewer and the reviewed do not get to an agreement?
Oh, that's difficult. That should not happen if you keep your ego aside, right? But as I said, you just try to propose a call, try to get, if you don't happen to get people on the same call, just leverage it to your team and get more opinions.
Okay, this one is interesting. I don't know if it's an experience or what, but it says, I got a bad PR comment and I quit my job.
Wow, you see? Yeah.
What will you do in this case?
Oh, I don't know. I think that okay, so it's not a safe environment to work if you are having those kind of comments. I cannot imagine the comment, to be completely honest with you. But if you, so I don't think it's it's a one-time thing. I think it's like a sum of comments or situations where you don't feel confident or you don't feel comfortable working with, and that's the trigger of the whole situation, basically.
With the recent economic downtimes, it's harder for a business to justify delaying a peer with technical change requests. Mm-hmm. How do you balance those priorities?
As I said, it all depends. Like if you have product with tight deadlines, there will be sometimes that you have to adapt yourself and just do this and merge it. It happened to me. And then you can, like, I don't know, create, if you know that you won't have time to create the best PR ever. I know best is not a good word, but just, I don't know, create a ticket where you can solve it later with a tech dev ticket or whatever. You will get some time in the future where you don't have anything to do, and it's a good opportunity to improve your code.
Okay, this is the last question. Mm-hmm. It's probably the hardest one. It says, which Nike shoes are the best?
Oh, that's so... I don't know. I feel emotions with these ones. But I have a lot of, I have a lot of shoes. I collect them. I collect a lot of things. I collect tennis rackets too. But yeah, I grab these ones. I grab these ones because they are special to me. So these ones.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nahuel.
Thanks to you.
What? Oh. Do you have...
Sorry, Nahuel?
Oh,
okay.
Is it on?
Sorry.
It's related to sneakers?
Don't know, because they don't send it to the...
Can you refresh?
I have a question, well, two questions for you. First, thank you for your talk. It's been amazing. And it's great to see a friend speaking here. So thank you for that. The first question is, how many sneakers do you own, if you know the number? And the second is, what's the one thing that triggers you when you review PRs? Come on, something a bit juicy.
I don't know, when they ignore my comments.
Come on, something. Give us something.
No, I hate when they ignore my comments. It's like,
why? That's your ego speaking, right?
A little bit, of course.
You should put it aside.
Joe. Yeah, I think that the thing that triggers me the most is to take the time to review a PR, and in the end, because they have more approvals, they didn't pay attention to my comments. and I don't know how many sneakers I have.
Thank you.
Any more questions? We have Danny there.
Hey, thank you so much for everything. Mine is not a question, but a comment that got me thinking. Like sometimes, because maybe not ego, but time and quality things, they put us against when it's not the case. Like many times, it's release day and I have to make it to the train, and there's no time, and I have to merge it, and like, oh, they're commenting me about this, but I have no time, and I write like, yes, but then I have to change all of these, and they answer like, oh yeah, sure, merge away, and we can add a tech debt, and like we were on the same side, but
Yeah.
like the environment takes you to that opposing view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fine if you didn't happen to have a request change. If you happen to request change, you will have to find a way to circumvent that request change to merge it on time. Otherwise, you will get product angry because you didn't make it on time.
Now, thank you very much for your talk. I wanted just to say two things. The first one is that now I was the first one that bought a ticket for Swiftabel first year, so he has supported
I'm the number
us.
one ticket.
Yes, exactly. So it was a support both ways, so I really like that. And the second thing I wanted to add to the 4Bs that I really like, I love all this thing about being compassionate and being empathetic. And I would like to say that for me, it was really important to ask questions in the PRs. Like a lot of times we are like trying to say things like what is wrong, what is right, and asking questions allows us to learn from the other person and also to learn how the other person thinks. Like it's really important, at least when you are a junior, like to start asking questions. Because it gives a lot of visibility.
Yes,
What
I
do you
also
think
have
about that?
feelings with that.
Yeah?
Because I experienced that people do reviews in different ways, and some of them they are like, okay, so you have this, I have this solution. It's up to you if you accept it or not. But then you have people that make questions that trigger the author to rethink what they have done, and probably they will come with iterations of the code, and that it's for me it's like one of the things that fulfills me the most. Like you trigger a question on someone, they are going to think, how should I redo this, or how should I approach it in other way, and that's a good situation. But that depends on the type of the reviewer, I think.
Yeah, totally. Very nice talk. I really like it.
Thank you. Any more questions? We have Luis.
First of all, nice talk. Secondly, which kind of approach do you like? A tech lead that makes all the merge reviews, or a peer review where everyone in the team review each other's merge request?
I think the second one. Guys here won't let me lie because I review a lot of PRs, like from 6 to 10 PRs a day. Even if they are not working on my team, I feel like, as I said, like it's a warm-up time for me. I know that there will be sometimes that I won't understand the business logic involved on that PR, but I know that I can catch stuff. And a friend of mine called me, what's the hero? Hawkeye. Because I always find, I don't know, a typo or wherever, and I don't know. I really like this second approach. I don't think you need to have the full context to review a PR.
From my understanding, I like the second approach too, because it also helps people have the same understanding on the code base and also iterate on same solutions.
Any more questions? No?
These guys are waiting for the after party, it seems.
Thank you so much, Nahuel.
Thanks to you.